The minority in parliament are making fresh allegations about the construction of the new Bank of Ghana head office valued at a staggering $250 million US. The construction has become a focal point of the minority's fight against the central bank governor and his deputies, who they have all demanded must resign. In a lengthy Facebook post this morning, NDC MP for North Tongue Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa alleged numerous procurement breaches in the awarding of the contract and contract over-bloating. Kweku joins me on Zoom with details. First, Kweku, what does the MP say about the so-called restricted tendering used by the central bank to select the contractor for the construction works?
So, Brace, according to Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, in fact, make his own judgment and says that the Bank of Ghana engaged in what he calls unacceptable use of restricted tendering method, which he says amounts to a blatant violation of the Public Procurement Act. He alleges that 5 companies were handpicked by the Bank of Ghana to engage the services of constructing this new Bank of Ghana head office. He talked about the Messrs. WBHO Ghana Limited, Messrs. Man Enterprise, Messrs. Simone Limited, Messrs. Renaissance Holdings, and Messrs. Goldkey Properties. He says it is not clear what the criteria was in handpicking these companies to be the ones doing that. He goes on to contend that if this was open to the public and all companies were engaged in bidding for this process, then some amount of money would have been saved to the state. And so he's taking the Bank of Ghana on together with the Public Procurement Authority for allowing what he calls a blatant violation of Ghana's public procurement laws.
He again speaks of an alleged price escalation, claiming that the contract may have been bloated.
In fact, he starts off by saying that the project, which we now know will cost the state about $250 million, started at $81.8 million. He says it rose to $121 million. And then between January and now, there have been some price fluctuations as well. He estimates that about $40 million have already increased between January and September of 2020 when the project was earmarked. And in fact, if you look at the period now, the conversation is now that the Bank of Ghana new head office could cost the state up to $250 million. He's wondering how a project which started at $81 million is ending up at the cost of $250 million. He's likening it to the construction of the National Cathedral, where he says the project started at a cost of $100 million, is ending at $400 million. He's alleging that there may be some persons in the Bank of Ghana which have been giving out sweetheart deals. Those are his words. And so he believes that not only have there been public procurement breaches, he believes there's a price gouging in terms of someone being at the central bank and hiking the rates and probably benefiting from it.
All right, let us head on to the phone lines now and speak to Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, who is making these allegations. Grateful to you for joining us. First, are the documents you have conclusive enough to make these allegations?
Absolutely. These are unimpeachable, incontrovertible, undeniable documents. These are documents that I have intercepted from the Bank of Ghana and other sources. And no one can question the veracity or the authenticity of these documents. I have the PPA approvals, I have board minutes, I have the letters that the Bank of Ghana wrote. And you see, it is shocking that during COVID, at the peak of COVID, when we were given the impression that all what our leaders were focused on was saving lives, every other thing was on hold, it turns out that they were deceiving us. And this particular management of the Bank of Ghana, which has run the Bank of Ghana aground, accumulating the biggest loss in our history, over 60.8 billion Ghana cedis, decided that of all things they will do during this period of bankruptcy, they will build an ultra-modern head office. Fine, if they think that's a priority. But how on earth does a project which was budgeted in terms of its scope, its design, and all of that, at $81.8 million, just within 8 months, it escalates. And this is a dollar project, not say CD where you say that, it's fluctuated. I mean, and this is an institution which has been all over the place, asking people not to charge in dollars, not to work in dollars. But here they are, exposed for not living by their own demands. They award a dollar contract at $81 million. And within just 8 months, from January to September, it escalates to $121 million. Incredible, unbelievable. And as we speak, that has more than doubled from the documents that I am reviewing. They are preparing variation demands in excess of $250 million. And you see, the naked procurement breaches. If you read Section 38 of the Public Procurement Act, Act 663, this is not a contract which should have qualified for restricted tendering. There's nothing, nobody has some patent, some exclusive capacity. There are so many companies, so many construction firms. If this process was opened up and they didn't engage in this insider dealing, handpicking their favorites, and it was opened up and we had full competitive tender, we would have had value for money. Ghana would not have seen these extortionist price hikes as we are seeing in these documents that we are reviewing. Then, even the companies that they shortlisted, we were shocked to discover that one of those companies is not even registered in Ghana. It is not registered in Ghana. I mean, incredible. The company known as Renaissance Holdings. You can check with the Office of the Registrar. We have done our checks, thorough checks. They are not registered. How does a company not registered in Ghana participate in a restricted tender? Unbelievable. Then we come to the project management services. That was also single sourced. I mean, again, violation of Section 40 of the Act. There is nothing so unique about carrying out project management services. And you single source. Yeah, I mean, so you can begin to understand why the Bank of Ghana is bankrupt, is insolvent, is where it is today. And that is why I'm clear in my mind that all of us must move out in our numbers and occupy the Bank of Ghana. This governor or misgovernor must leave with immediate effect. It's unbelievable.
To take next after putting this set of facts out?
So the first step, as we do, is to expose. What corruption does not like is sunshine. U.S. Supreme Court Judge Cardozo made that point. So sunshine, exposing all the underhand dealings or the shenanigans going on. And then we are going to escalate this matter in Parliament. We will be seeking a full-scale inquiry into these matters. And then we are also endorsing the position that has been taken by the minority and other civil society organizations to occupy the Bank of Ghana. These latest revelations give us very firm justification that this governor, who has created the biggest loss, the biggest bankruptcy that the Bank of Ghana has ever gone through, must leave. And this singular project, the happenings around it, the sweetheart deals, the blatant corruption, just tells you why the Bank of Ghana is where it is today, and he must go.
Well, is the Occupy the Central Bank protest going ahead?
Definitely, it is going ahead. The last time I engaged with the leadership of Parliament, the notification for the police was even ready. I suspect it may have been sent already. And I am clear in my mind from speaking to colleagues that this is going to be a very, very popular action. All the NDC MPs are going to be participating in this deal.
Grateful to you, Sammy, for joining us. Samuel Okajuta Blakwa is the MP for North Tong, and he has document which shows some procurement breaches in awarding the contract of the new Bank of Ghana head office, which is at Ridge, and he is making these known. So if you have not seen that building, that's what we have for you on the screens now. It's directly opposite the Ridge Hospital. There are two towers, and those are the structures for the head office.